All right, back to another typical 6-liter service. So '05 style. This one has a VMAC. The VMAC is very, very problematic on these things. First of all, it makes it difficult to basically do any sort of repair on the passenger side. So it covers up that whole valve cover. There's a whole bunch of things that need to be rerouted and whatnot, and I largely blame the people installing these things. Just taking shortcuts and not tying things down right, and that seems to be the worst thing you can do for a 6-liter, is not put all the stupid little plastic clips back in and whatnot, and then you get wiring chafes and whatnot. So this one was running rough, had low fuel pressure, and a bad number 7 injector, which is, of course, underneath the passenger side valve cover. Passenger is odd. So this is kind of a typical tear down, right? Intake manifold off, the EGR was still in place, so we're going to take care of that, do the delete kit as usual. And a bit of a hot start issue now. This one has pretty rough oil in it, and there's a lot of problems when it comes down to just having dirty oil. But in this case, you can see how I have the shop here going right into the high pressure oil pump, and you know, we put it on and you know, I don't hear any noise, and when I shut it off, it really doesn't seem to be losing that much pressure. So no air, you know, and we're not dropping anything. There you go, just a little bit. That could be the tool though. It's a little on the hokey side, right? Just old airline, and nonetheless, might have to just pop off that cover, might as well, and just see if it has the updated STC fitting, as they call it. But I don't like to do that until I clean. Like, obviously this thing needs to be cleaned, and once I open that up, all that gunk will get into the motor, and we're gonna end up having problems there. So anytime you have any sort of an EGR failure or problem, which this one seemed to, because it was making some pressure, the oil cooler's got to be done. You know, again, it's just so dirty that you can't even really take it apart until you do some cleaning. We noticed the stem pipe here that was broken off, right? So we'll repair that. We'll call this the last chance screen, right? That fits in the valley underneath this. The screen is ripped, and it looks like it's, you know, I'm not very good at focusing here, but can't really tell that well on the camera. But, yeah, there we go. That screen is blown out in that corner there, and so that could be issues with the hot start. We're gonna take apart this fuel pressure regulator, put one of those blue springs in it, just inspect all these seals, make sure that's gonna work out. We're gonna get rid of this this tall cap, and then just use a regular Ford filter. You can see this filter was starting to kind of implode on itself, and it basically just ripped apart. So, but these 6-liters are pretty robust. They seem to be able to handle issues like that. Oh look, here's that, that's what I was looking for. Now, the turbocharger. So I always like to do a turbo service, right? So basically I just split it apart. Now this one, usually you don't quite see them. Well, yeah, this bad. Again, you know, these cameras, they don't, oh yeah, see, you can really see how bean shaped, you know, or worn, you know, that is. So that's what sits on the actuator there, right? So that's what, there we go. Kind of, you can see there how it was stuck, right? This ring's stuck, right, on the vanes, and you can start to see these vanes even starting to wear, right? You see they're starting to get flat, you know, like I've seen them a lot worse than this. So what we'll do in this case is just, you know, go look through some junk, right? You know, like this one here, you can see that's pretty nice, right? You know, it might not be 100% perfect, but you know, we'll throw it in there to save time and a little bit of money, right? Because I think a kit like this, you can get an Amazon one for about a couple $100, right? And I think Ford wants like 300, and the new turbo's about 1,000. Like this one too, it looks maybe like it's pushing a little bit of oil, right? See, it's a little bit on the wet side there, but you know, again, what are you gonna do, right? We'll just clean it up and we'll make it work, and you know, make a note of it, right? If it needs a turbo, it needs a turbo, but we'll throw this one in and it'll live to see another day. So yeah, the radiator, we had, you know, it's pretty dirty. We'll pull that out and we'll put a used one in, because it's got a little bit of a crack in it, because it's important that we're maintaining pressure. You know, it's can't really cheat the laws of thermodynamics, so it's got to be a sealed system. And when we're done, we'll just in the degas bottle, we'll just pressure it up and hold it at like 16 psi, you know, the limit of the cap, and we'll make sure that that works. So all right, well, that's 6 minutes. I try to keep these around 5 minutes, but that's basically the rundown on this one. You know, to get one torn down like this, it's you know, about 2-3 hours, right? I probably got about 3 hours so far into this, just with moving it into the shop and getting a few things ready and getting it apart. And you know, I'm imagining that we're going to be looking at probably another 3 hours, right, to clean everything and rebuild the oil cooler and put the turbo back together. So that's right. Speaking of that chafing, we'll just have to go a little bit longer here. I think I've seen that. Yeah, right here, right? So yeah, so we've got a lot of rubbing and chafing here, and in that number 7 injector, yeah, you can see that looks like it's broke right off there, right? And that clip wasn't even in, so that could be why that wasn't working. So yeah, this positive air shot off, we're gonna get rid of that. You can see that big slice in the tube, you know, again, right? It's just installations from the VMAC, you know, and in this case, I guess it was more the positive air shot off. But you just got to be real careful how you line these things up, and once they start running rough and shaking, then you get a lot of problems like this that are residual issues. Is the EGR cooler. Sometimes we pull these out, we'll see the frost plug in here, right? Now, of course, these things will just keep leaking for you forever, you know. So usually I'll look in there, and this one's not rusting out or anything like that, but it's really, you know, it's a problematic thing, right? You're boiling your coolant, and that's just no good. This intake is in horrible shape. I think it was this one here. I think it's stripped out in there, but that's fine. We'll probably just find another intake. I don't even know if it's worth bothering to clean this one. Maybe we'll just steal a couple sensors off of it, since they seem to be working, and just maybe throw this in the aluminum pile. But same thing, you know, these gaskets there, they look okay. You know, we'll clean those up and yeah, see what we can do. Yeah, see, that's exactly it. You know, if we just kind of scrape a little bit of that, and it doesn't fill up my my parts washer, right? Varsol's not cheap, so if we can get a little bit of that loose stuff off, that's great. And I'm sure we have one of these standpipes around off of something, and even shit like this here, you know, I don't even know if it, yeah, that's not too terribly bad. But so yeah, we'll make it work.